At just 12 years old, a boy has stunned scholars, religious leaders, and even government officials with his ability to interpret ancient biblical prophecies. Unlike most children his age, who are occupied with school and hobbies, this young prodigy has spent years studying ancient texts, biblical symbolism, and historical events. His claim: that he has discovered a hidden pattern in the scriptures that directly points to the unfolding of the end times. His knowledge is beyond his years, and what's even more astonishing is that he never had formal theological training. Instead, he says his understanding comes from a deep spiritual insight, as if the scriptures spoke to him in a way most people could never imagine. Some call him a genius, while others believe he is divinely inspired. Either way, his findings are impossible to ignore. What has truly left authorities baffled is not just his intelligence, but the accuracy of his claims. He has reportedly predicted events that align with recent world occurrences, raising the question: is this child truly decoding the mysteries of biblical prophecy, or is it just coincidence? According to this young genius, the Bible contains a mathematical sequence that reveals a timeline for the final events leading up to the apocalypse. He believes that certain passages, when combined with historical data, reveal an undeniable countdown, one that has already begun. He points to scriptures such as Daniel 9 and Revelation 13, which discuss symbolic numbers and prophetic timelines. Using complex calculations, he claims these numbers correlate with real-world events, such as political shifts, economic collapses, and even natural disasters. The most shocking part? His calculations suggest that humanity may be entering a critical period much sooner than many expect. Some experts have attempted to disprove his findings, but even seasoned scholars admit that his approach is unlike anything they have seen before. If true, his discovery could change everything we know about prophecy. Is this a case of a brilliant mind seeing patterns where none exist, or has this child truly unlocked a hidden message within the Bible? Skeptics might dismiss the claims of a 12-year-old, but what makes his findings chilling is that many of his interpretations seem to match recent world events. He has pointed to the rapid rise of global surveillance and digital control, aligning with Revelation's warning of a future system where no one can buy or sell without a specific mark. The increasing tensions in the Middle East, which many see as the fulfillment of war prophecies. The push for a one-world government and economy, which mirrors the warnings of a coming period of absolute control over humanity. These are not random occurrences but a pattern that seems to follow a prophetic roadmap. What's even more startling is that some of his predictions about upcoming events have already begun to unfold. If this boy is correct, then we may be closer to witnessing major biblical prophecies than anyone thought possible. The level of accuracy in his statements has drawn attention from authorities, theologians, and historians alike. Some religious leaders are amazed, calling him a gifted interpreter of Scripture. Others, however, are more skeptical, warning that predicting the exact timeline of prophecy has always been a dangerous path. Government officials have also taken notice. Reports suggest that certain agencies have reached out to investigate how this child is making such precise connections. Some speculate that his interpretations could cause unnecessary panic, while others are more concerned about what his knowledge could expose. Despite the skepticism and scrutiny, the boy remains firm in his belief that he is simply revealing what has been in the Bible all along. He claims he has no agenda, only a desire to warn people about what's coming. Could this be why some want his voice silenced? What is it about his findings that has authorities so concerned? Many people have long speculated that biblical prophecy is unfolding before our eyes. But this child's revelations have given people a renewed sense of urgency. If his findings are correct, then we could be entering a period where prophecy stops being a matter of debate and starts becoming an undeniable reality. His discoveries have led many to ask critical questions. If the events of Revelation are truly happening, how much time do we have left? Are governments and world leaders aware of these prophecies, and are they preparing for what's ahead? What should people do to prepare spiritually, mentally, and physically? These are the same questions that biblical scholars and believers have asked for centuries. But now, they are being brought to the forefront by a child, someone who shouldn't have this level of understanding, yet somehow does. Could it be that this prodigy was chosen to reveal a message that the world needs to hear? Or is this simply a case of a highly intelligent mind making uncanny connections? Not everyone is convinced that a 12-year-old has truly deciphered biblical prophecies. Many skeptics argue that his findings are purely coincidental, the result of an overactive imagination rather than divine revelation. Scholars who have spent decades studying prophecy find it difficult to accept that a child, without formal training, could uncover something they've missed. Some claim that he is simply taking existing interpretations and repackaging them in a way that makes them sound new and groundbreaking. There are also concerns that his predictions could cause unnecessary fear. Some critics warn that making bold claims about the end times could lead people to panic, misinterpret the Bible, or even make drastic life changes based on a child's analysis. The fear of misinformation spreading has led some religious leaders to question whether his theories should even be shared publicly. Others worry that his statements could be manipulated to serve hidden agendas. Despite the criticism, the boy has remained unwavering in his conviction. He insists that he is not trying to scare anyone but rather to reveal what he believes has always been in the scriptures. His parents have defended him, stating that he has been passionate about studying biblical texts for years and that his insights are not a recent development. Whether one believes him or not, his discoveries have undeniably sparked a new wave of discussion about the possibility of prophecy unfolding in real time. While some scholars and skeptics dismiss his claims, there is a growing number of religious leaders who have come forward in support of the boy's findings. Certain pastors, theologians, and biblical researchers believe that his interpretations could be divinely inspired. They argue that throughout history, God has used the most unexpected individuals, often young people, to deliver important messages. From David defeating Goliath to Jesus teaching in the temple at 12 years old, the Bible is filled with stories of children who demonstrated extraordinary wisdom beyond their years. Those who support him point out that his claims align with many well-established biblical interpretations. Some churches have even invited him to speak, eager to hear how he arrived at his conclusions. A few religious figures have stated that his insights serve as a wake-up call, urging people to take prophecy more seriously. Instead of dismissing him outright, they believe his words should be studied carefully to see if there is truth in them. This support, however, has only fueled the controversy. With religious leaders split on the issue, the debate has become even more intense. Is this child a genuine prophet, or is he simply repeating what others have said in a more compelling way? The divide continues to grow, leaving many to wonder how much weight should be given to his predictions. As his claims have gained more attention, reports have surfaced that certain government agencies have taken an interest in his findings. Some believe that his theories, particularly those about global events, have caught the attention of intelligence agencies that monitor religious movements and prophetic claims. While it is unclear whether any official investigations have been launched, some suspect that authorities are quietly observing how people are reacting to his words. The idea that a child could attract government attention might sound like a conspiracy theory, but history has shown that religious movements tied to prophecy have often been monitored. Some speculate that if his interpretations gain a large enough following, they could influence people's behavior, potentially impacting everything from financial markets to social stability. Others believe that his words could expose things that certain organizations would rather keep hidden. One of the biggest unanswered questions is, how did he arrive at these conclusions? If his findings are truly unique and not based on existing theories, then where did he gain this knowledge? His parents insist that he has not been influenced by outside sources, making his deep understanding of prophecy all the more mysterious. Whether his insights come from divine inspiration, intense study, or mere coincidence, there is no denying that his words are being taken seriously by more people than anyone could have expected. As his revelations continue to spread, more and more people are paying attention. Online forums, religious discussion groups, and even mainstream media outlets have begun covering his claims. Some individuals who were previously indifferent to biblical prophecy are now actively researching end-times theology, intrigued by what this child has uncovered. Churches and study groups have started analyzing his statements, cross-referencing them with scripture to determine their validity. Many people see his words as a confirmation of what they have suspected for years, that we are living in the final days. His interpretations have given them a renewed sense of urgency, prompting them to reevaluate their beliefs and prepare spiritually for what may come. Others view him as a sign that God is calling humanity to pay closer attention to Scripture. If a child can see the patterns in prophecy, then perhaps adults have been overlooking something important. Despite the growing support, there are those who remain skeptical, dismissing his claims as sensationalism. They argue that every generation has believed they were living in the last days, yet history has continued. Even some skeptics admit that the combination of current world events and this child's insights is thought-provoking, making it difficult to ignore his message entirely. Regardless of whether one believes in his claims, there is no denying that his words have sparked a powerful conversation about prophecy and the future. People from all walks of life, believers and non-believers alike, are questioning whether biblical warnings about the end times are unfolding before our eyes. His message has challenged both religious and secular societies to consider the possibility that we are closer to a major prophetic event than we ever imagined. Could it be that this child was chosen to reveal something important? Or is he simply an exceptionally intelligent boy with a unique perspective? The debate continues, and as more people examine his findings, the world watches with anticipation. What do you think? Is this a once-in-a-lifetime revelation, or just another theory that will fade over time? If you found this story intriguing, be sure to like this video and share your thoughts in the comments. And if you want to stay updated on more stories like this, don't forget to subscribe.